Well, hello, and welcome back, y'all. Today I wanted to try to do something a little bit different. I wanted to build a tiny home, so under 100 tiles, and I wanted it to be small, kind of narrow, squishy kind of feeling, and 2 stories. And I built this in Evergreen Harbor. I thought that would be a good location. I'm not sure, but I wanted to try something different, kind of get out of my norm, and this is kind of what I ended up with. Um, I decided to do once I had the exterior figured out, I decided to go ahead and do, the walls, the brick and the wood and everything. And I love the combination of it. Now, I had to figure out how to separate it later. And I did figure that out. Came out really cute, in my opinion. But I played around with it a little bit. I did play around without even realizing it. Oh, well, if I don't want the wood to kind of clash so much with the brick, maybe I can pop this wall out or pop that wall out. And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm over 100 tiles. I can't do that. So I went back to the original shell and worked with what I had. Now, the other thing that I was trying to do was trying to figure out where I was going to lay things out and how. So I did have some placement furniture in there, which is what I usually do, and wanted to make sure that I had room for everything to kind of have an idea going into it how big of a couch that I could have, how big of a bathroom I could have. Could I fit everything in the kitchen kind of thing? So that's what I played around with a little bit for a little while actually, because I was like, I don't like the bed there. I don't like the chair there. I don't like this here. So I played around with it for a little bit, but I did manage to figure it out in the end. Now, the other thing was the windows. I wanted something modern, I suppose. I wanted the long, clear windows. And eventually I found them, obviously. But it did take me a minute. I had to scroll through. It's like, do I want medium height windows? Do I want short wall height windows? And I did try the medium windows at first and I liked it, but it was going from floor to ceiling and I didn't want that. So I went with the regular short height windows and it worked out great. Now, the kitchen windows that I just placed there, the long ones, I did have to replace those at least on the one wall because the color was one thing, but the other thing was also it wasn't looking right to me. It just didn't look right to me. So I did have to change the ones on the outside to something a little more functional on the interior of the house. And I think I managed that too. So yay me. Now the bedroom layout upstairs was a little bit difficult because I did want to use a double bed. I did not want to use a single bed. So I played around with that for a little while, for a long while actually. And I did cut out quite a bit. But where the bed stayed or is placed is where it stayed. I decided, you know what, that's just how it's going to be. I'm not going to go back. And yeah, oh my God, finding top flooring that fits the world is near impossible. I don't know if there is any flooring that ever matches the world, but I've gotten really, 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 really close once. But here, no, I just said, screw it, forget it. I'm just going to go with whatever I can. And I got the closest thing I could. It doesn't quite match, but that's okay. I don't care. It's not a big deal. But that's pretty much it. I put up a fence in the backyard with the matching gate, amazingly enough. And then I went to town inside, started to decorate it and make it look beautiful. So here in just a second, I'm going to give you the full walkthrough. I hope you're ready. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Don't go anywhere and just blink. Okie dokie. I love this one. It was so much fun to do something a little bit different than what I'm used to doing. I'm used to doing, a traditional roofed house and everything else. I'm not used to doing like the modern from, some business building into a home kind of thing. So this turned out really cute. I really, really like it. So as you can see in the backyard, we do have some gardening. We have a telescope, a little place to sit and eat some food, and a grill, as well as a nice big tree. Some fairy lights just hanging there from businesses and hobbies. Thank you very much. And some greenery, floral stuff, landscaping all the way around. It's not a lot, but I really like it, as well as the little bench sitting out in front. Now, my thought was this was going to be a very small yard. There wasn't going to be a lot of grass, just, what's there. And so that's why I placed the concrete on either side so that it's, kind of fits in a little bit. There aren't a lot of buildings out here. I know these are homes over here, but there's not a lot of buildings that have a lot of greenery. It's mostly concrete. So that's why I went with that. I also put the gravel up here on the rooftops where you cannot access. And then this little section here, I decided it was going to be a little private spot that you can only access from outside, but that's beside the point. But a little private spot where you can just sit and be by yourself as you hear the hustle and bustle of the world around you. But that's also beside the point. It's the idea that matters, right? Right. Okay, let's go inside because this is going to be cute. I think you're going to like this one. At least I hope you like this one. So you walk in the front door and immediately you have your coat rack with your umbrella stand and the stairs that go up to the lofted bedroom. Over here to the right, you have your little living room with some pictures, and you also have a gaming console and a TV, so you've got some things to do. There are activity and skill items. There's just not a lot of them. But you do have the telescope and the gardening out back, and you have the gaming console up here and a TV. You also have a little pet bed in this little corner back here with some little food and water bowls. So they do have a little pet. We have a little spot to sit and eat some food, plant. There's the back door, refrigerator, kitchen. I think turned out so cute. It was so hard to place stuff in here though because it's so small. But I got it. Yes, sir, Bob, I did. This container here is from Home Chef Hustle? No, Dream Home Decorator. And I made it smaller by 2, raised it up with my 9 key, and placed it with my alt left click on top of the counter right there. Same thing with I didn't make that any smaller, but the teas, I'm considering them to be coffees. Different coffees. Think of it like a Keurig. So different coffees back there. I did move the counter and move it over with my alt key and pushed it back in so that you didn't see the backdrop of the container because I don't like it. And then we've got some more clutter, pots, pans, and then this shelf up here. I did add the books, the apple picture, and the plant mugs and container on the top shelf because it was way too empty of a shelf and I needed to have something else on there. And I still didn't place it right because my books are still floating. Gosh darn it. There we go. I fixed it. It looks so much better now. Yay. Anyway, the kitchen is really cute. I really like it. And I did leave the floor as old concrete because I felt it was just the logical way to go considering this was an old business. Same thing with the brick walls. It was an old business, ergo brick walls. But they did paint over it a little bit with the blue just to pretty it up a little. Yay. Okay, and then we're going to try to go into this bathroom. See the arrow? That's where you go to the bathroom. So this is a full bath. It's a sink, toilet, and shower back here. Full bath. I did not want to add anything else in this bathroom. I don't usually add a lot to my bathrooms unless it's a big bathroom. But I didn't want to add too much to this one because it is kind of small, and the one upstairs is even smaller. So there's definitely not much up there either. But we go up these stairs up to the lofted bedroom, and I really like how this turned out too. Oh, I forgot to put something on there. Gosh darn it. Anyway, you've got your little reading nook over here with your plants and stuff on top of the bookshelf, a nice little lamp overhead. And you have your dresser here with some clutter items, a little accent table with some pretty flowers and incense, and this beautiful businesses and hobbies bed with a pretty picture on there too. Now, your Sims will not be able to access this table. Not a problem. They just need to access the bed, which they can. I think. I forgot to test it out, but they should be able to. Now, this bathroom is a little tricky. That's it. A sink and a toilet with the towels and a shelf. That's it. Little curtains, too. But that is all. And if you're wondering for the lighting, I did the tiny saucer light and made it smaller by as much as I could make it smaller by. So that way it's not in your way when the walls are down or anything. I did carpet the upstairs because on the upstairs floor, you're not going to have concrete most times. Most times it's wood or something to that regard or something like that. So they went ahead and carpeted the upstairs. So no rug needed. Plus, I couldn't figure out how to fit a rug in here that made it work or that worked. My words? Oh my God, losing my mind today. But anyway, we've got some beautiful curtains. Yes, these are medium wall height curtains, and these are short height curtains, I guess. But that was because of mostly this table here, plus the stairwell. I didn't want windows just hanging down and kind of being weird. So these just worked out perfectly. But I did leave them long over by the bed and over here because it looks better, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but you know, that's just how I think. Of course, I don't always think properly, but you know, my thoughts aren't like everybody else's, that's for sure. I have weird thoughts, sometimes intrusive ones. So you walk out through the back door. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but yes, your Sims can get through. It is a full tile. We've got the greenery and landscaping over there. Stairs to take you up and your little grill picnic area. It's a nice little backyard. It's not so bad. I kind of like it. And then up here, we go up these stairs and you have your little peaceful area, which looks into the bathroom. But that's okay. It's no big deal. But they do have a little candle on the table as well as a light up top. So it is lit up if you need it to be. If you don't want a light up there, just take out the candle, take out the light, whatever you so choose to do. But that is it. That is the whole build. I did add some columns here, and luckily this is a half wall up here. So the column was actually able to go up. Now, I could have done the same thing with this one, but it looked weird to me, the way it cuts off, because and I was going to put another column up here on this corner, but it just doesn't sit right, and I don't like it. See how it's kind of off-centered? I didn't like that. So I just left it down like that. I think it's fine. I don't think it's too big of a deal. But I did add this piece here. What is that? The exterior trim here around where the wood meets the brick. And I think that made it work really, really well. I had initially moved the stairs over so that it was closer to the wall, but in doing that, it removed my exterior trim, and I really did not like how that looked. So I just left them like this, and it was funny because as I was doing that, I'm like, oh no, wait a minute. I don't have a way to get to the backyard unless you go out the front door and go all the way around through the gate. So I had to kind of reconfigure a little bit down here. I made the bathroom a little bit smaller and was able to put in that door. That's why it's a little squishy. That was not my initial intention. I don't know what my initial intention was, because I think initially when I put this here, my thought was to have a door here, but it didn't work out that way because that ended up being the bathroom. So yeah, I mean, I guess if I were to redo it, I could put the bed here and put the bathroom here. Huh, that might have been a better solution. Oh, no, it wouldn't have been because of the windows. Oh, but wait, those are two windows, so it wouldn't mess up the windows. Okay, well, anyway, this is the layout that I ended up with. If I would have thought about it a little bit more, I probably would have put, because the bed would fit nicely in there. Yeah, bed would have fit nicely in there. And then the bathroom could have been right over here, had a full bath. Oh, man, now I want to redo it. Dang it, why didn't I think about that before? Oh, well, no biggie. This is the layout that we have. I'm not doing it over. Plus, I've already uploaded it to the gallery this way. But you guys can redo it. Now you know how. Yay. Anyway, I'm a little delirious at the moment, and I do apologize for that, but it does happen occasionally. So if we take a look from the top down, you saw that. There is the downstairs. It's a very decent layout. So whenever they need to take a shower, they will have to come downstairs, but they do have a toilet and sink upstairs in their bedroom. So that's a good thing. It's just the half bath is upstairs versus downstairs for your guests. So whatever. Maybe your guests need to take a shower. I don't know. In any case, I hope this was fun for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Got a little bit of inspiration, maybe. Feel free to download it off the gallery. If you do make any changes or completely redo it, however the case may be, do feel free to let me know down in the comments below and how to find it on the gallery, and I will go check it out. Yes, I will. I've done it before. I'll do it again. Don't forget to hit like, leave any and all other comments, questions, and suggestions down below. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe if you wouldn't mind. So until next time, y'all, have fun.